There are a lot of small creators who want to create deepfakes of Ronaldo and Messi. How can they do that?
Tell you the step-by-step process to do this. There are a couple of things that you have to take care of. The first thing I would do is I would go into a tool like Midjourney and create something that ideally 3D artists would take a long time to create.
Your business is amazing. You used a video of Sourav Ganguly. You used a video of other celebrities such as Saif Ali Khan.
In the Sourav Ganguly campaign, we got him to speak in Bengali. We had to also make sure that the accent of the names are Bengali. So instead of saying Sourav, it would be Sourav.
Anil Kapoor came and said that you cannot use my voice.
Honestly, no celebrity actually likes this.
You have taken consent from the celebrity. Talk about the top 5 tools which people can use to make a lot of money in 2025.
There is this tool called I would probably create a lot of CGI videos which are going viral, especially in Dubai.
Something going through the Burj Khalifa or through the Dubai frame, showing elements and making it realistic. Every influencer I see start doing AI agents to make big money in 2025.
The agent can automatically do this for you without any human intervention.
Or are these easy to deploy because they sound complicated? All this information that you've shared in this podcast, if these things are deployed, I'm going to be making like 10-20 crores this year, inshallah.
Get ready for an amazing episode on AI. This is everything new and trending with AI right now that you should know for your business. If you're an entrepreneur, if you're working, Gayatri, who you see in this video, works with brands like Amazon, Boots, and multiple others, helping them deploy AI in their organizations. She shares a lot of gems within this video, which can help make you a lot of money in 2025 with actionable steps. We spoke about everything that is very relevant in the world of AI. We spoke about AI agents, how people are cloning themselves, how exactly are the steps that you see that people are using to create videos of Ronaldo and Messi on the internet, how big creators are leveraging AI to get massive reach. I'm talking about creators like Varun, Mayya, Vaibhav, Sisinty, and multiple others. What are the AI tools which can make you a lot of money? So enjoy, watch this episode. There's only one request from my side. If you're new to this channel, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this page. We also started a new page which is called Neet Bherwani Clips, where we upload shorter versions of this full podcast for your convenience. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to that one. We are leaving the link in the description. Enjoy the episode.
You're in the market of deepfakes, am I right?
Yeah.
On the internet, you find so many deepfakes, right? You find conversations between Ronaldo and Messi happening, people putting in Ronaldo, asking weird questions to Messi, Messi replying back, and these videos are getting millions of views. You even have videos, Pookie Baba conversing with
गुरुजी मेसी मेरी बीवी के पीछे पड़ा हुआ है।
आपकी बीवी का फोटो दिखाइए।
ये देखिए गुरुजी।
इसकी माँ का
क्या हुआ गुरुजी?
ये तो बड़ी समस्या है।
कुछ कीजिए गुरुजी।
मेसी को आपकी बीवी से दूर रखने का एक उपाय है।
कौन सा उपाय?
आप अपनी बीवी मुझे दे दीजिए।
फिर
क्या मेसी को पता ही नहीं चलेगा आपकी बीवी कहाँ है, तो पीछा कैसे करेगा?
मान गया गुरुजी आपको।
They're making these people say anything and everything, and these videos are going viral. And of course, Ronaldo has not been like, use my voice. So what's happening in the space where consent is not given by these celebrities?
I think today in the world of AI, our laws are not very clear. Today, if you watch these videos, I'm sure you're enjoying it.
I'm
You're
enjoying
also
it.
the
It's
one.
funny.
It's funny. We're all enjoying
Yeah.
it. We're also giving it the views. Also, by the way, a lot of times these things get views, which is Ronaldo talking to a Messi about something that he wouldn't say, because half the people don't know it's AI. The other half is wondering how that happened. And the third half, which know AI, they're still enjoying it because the content is funny. In fact, I'll give you an example. There's this very recent video which is taken out of a plane where a cow is flying. The first time you see it, you're like, wait, what's happening? The moment I opened the comment section, a lot of people are like, oh my God, what is happening? Then I would see a lot of people talk about how it's AI and other people commenting, how do you do this? The problem is half the people don't even know it's AI.
There are a lot of small creators who are starting off over here. And if they want to create deep fakes of Ronaldo and Messi, but use it in a good way, use it in a funny way, which is for humor. How can they do that?
So I'll tell you the step-by-step process to
Go
do
for
this. The first thing I would do is, if I already have an idea, great. But if I don't, I would first go to any LLM. For me, it's ChatGPT. I get an idea out of it.
Okay,
The
idea.
moment my idea is, let's take an example, Ronaldo and Messi talking about something which is friendship, which is ideally not seen.
Yeah.
After this, I would get an idea of what the image should look like. Once I know that, I would go to any text to image tool. It could be Leonardo or Ideogram, which is free. If you are okay with a paid version, you go to a Midjourney. The way it works is you prompt using text, what is the image going to look like? The moment you have your image, the next step is you convert that into a video. I would probably go to a model like Runway ML.
Perfect.
Or I would go to any image to video model. After that, I would take that and I would want to put a voiceover on top of it. To get the voiceover, I would use a text to speech tool, which is called 11 Labs. For this, I've gotten an audio.
But what about the movement, the lip movement, right? Like how to ensure that what audio you've got, the lip exactly moves to Ronaldo's voice or Messi's voice? How do you achieve that?
When it comes to anything that needs to lip sync, there is something called Synthesia or DID, which is basically a deep face model, which is also something that we use when we were training celebrities' lip movements. What it does is it matches the lip movement to what the speech sounds like. And the moment you want to do that, you would also get a couple of videos initially from Runway or Kling just to see how the person moves. You would put that into DID, or you can directly put image to get a video out. It stitches it together and gives you a video where the lip sync, the audio, the image, everything now looks like the celebrity.
Perfect. But why are there so many steps involved? Why isn't there one tool which does it all in the AI space?
That's our job. Essentially, think about it this way. It's easier to sell a product when it does one thing. As a human, as an entrepreneur also, if you're doing too many things, you'll not be able to sell. What we do in ALTRD essentially is that we look at different models. We combine them together into one tool so that the client, you don't have to go to multiple other tools
Exactly,
and try
because this is
different
a
things.
challenge, right? I don't want to be spending my time learning like 7-8 different tools, where I would just approach someone like you who integrates all these tools together and builds something custom for me.
Plus, also, it's not about just going to 5 different tools. It's about also knowing how to use these tools. So what we do is essentially all the work about prompting, training happens in the back end. So in the front end, you, who probably has no idea how to use AI tools, doesn't have to do anything except input like a couple of names or images, and that's about it.
No, it's I love what you're saying, right? And now that we spoke about some celebrities, let's talk about people who are using deep fakes of themselves and creating great content from it. I mean, I've seen videos of you which look like you, but it's not you speaking. I've seen videos of even some other people are doing this very well in the Indian space and the international space. In the Indian space, two creators who are killing it out there are Varun, Mayya and Vaibhav Sisinty. If you see their Instagram analytics, 60 million views, 70 million views is just crazy, and all of them is just AI generated videos. I also saw a video of Varun. He was talking about in a podcast that if something has come up right now, his time to output the video is 15 minutes. India just won the Champions Trophy right now, right? In 15 minutes, Varun Mayya can have a video ready explaining about it, which is impossible for people to do. It's crazy. This way I can create 10 videos, I can create 12 videos because we don't have time. Explain to me how ordinary people can start using tools like these.
You know what's interesting is that today most comments that you'll see are actually talking about the content that we or him are putting out. But probably a year ago, people would be commenting about, is this AI? Varun, is this your AI? Gayatri, is this you talking? So we've definitely come a long way. By the way, all of us are mostly using this tool called HeyGen, which by the way is free for the first 3 videos that you make every month. But there are 3 tricks that we follow when it comes to HeyGen, which also helps us generate something that looks much realistic than what other people are doing. The first thing is we try to shoot in 2 angles. So think of it a podcast angle, right? You have a front angle and the left angle.
Perfect.
So the same time that I'm talking, I would train it in 2 angles. Now, every time that I'm generating, I have 2 angles being generated. So what our editor does is, our editor cuts it out in this way that if my front angle sees it a bit better in terms of lip sync, that's the angle that I see. And if my left angle is, speaking it better, that's the angle that I see. And this can be done by a video editor. It makes it look very real. It makes it look like it was actually shot in a podcast studio. So that's your first step. You shoot in two different angles.
Beautiful.
And get the editor to kind of mix and match it. The second thing is it really matters what you're saying when you're shooting the training video. So the process is this, right? You go into HeyGen, you upload a training video. What that means is it asks you for a minimum 2-minute video of yours, which is no cuts, just looking into the camera and talking. You can talk about anything. You can talk in any language. What we do is we make sure, because we know that AI is as good at what it's trained on, we make sure that it's trained on mainly two things in the script. First, a lot of words that we use in our daily life. And second, a lot of words that we usually repeat in our content. Using this, we either go to a chat GPT or get somebody to write the script for us, where it gives us not a 2-minute script, but a 10-minute script, which is actually my third point. So rather than shooting for the minimum 2 minutes that it asks for, I would highly request and, tell everybody to do a 10 to 15-minute shoot. It helps HeyGen or any AI to understand how you would talk. Fourth, which is a small point, which is when the editor is, of course, cutting it and, putting B-rolls. Try and show the parts where you're actually speaking and the lip sync is matched right. But the part where the lip sync is probably not matched right because the word is probably enunciated harder or lower, then they can just add a B-roll. They can add multiple effects. While it's a great AI tool to use, it's also a great video editor who's cutting these parts out and mix matching it for it to come out as a great video. So while we do this, I think content becomes very important today. What you're talking about becomes more important because anybody can create these videos. Right. And like you rightly said, right? In a video, I have no maximum limit. I can do 100 videos if I want.
I think if someone wants to even train the AI model on the most common words used, you can just go to ChatGPT.
Yeah.
ChatGPT, tell me the 800 most common used words, and you can just read out those words to train it, right?
Correct. I would just do this. I would go into ChatGPT and I say, hey, ChatGPT, I make content on XYZ topics. These are the kind of words that I anyway want to use. Plus, can you make a script which is a 10-minute script which uses these words and also uses words which are most used in English or Hindi language? Now, instead of just reading out these words, ChatGPT will give you sentences which has these words. That way, the flow of the conversation stays very natural. When you upload it, you will genuinely see a difference between you randomly speaking a script out versus the training script that GPT has now given you.
In the start, I think one of the biggest issues that AI video generation tools had was getting the basic features of humans right. Right? For example, getting the smile right, or most importantly, the eyes. Right. Like when they're speaking to you, their eyes would look very funnily made. Even right now, I saw a video of someone recently. There's this creator called Ansh Mehra.
Yeah.
He went to an airport and he saw a billboard. And he's like, this may look like an ordinary billboard to you, but it is actually AI generated. I was like wondering, how can that be AI generated? Then he goes zoomed in. He's like, look at the feet. He went all the way to the feet, and the divisions between the toes was not right. So it's still lacking a bit, right? What is it lacking right now, Gayatri? As we are shooting this in March 2025, what is AI lacking at this particular moment, right?
Okay, so I want to touch base upon what you just said, right? Which is there are a couple of things AI can't get right, or at least in the early days of AI, it couldn't get right. This is also one way for us to identify what is an AI-generated image or any AI-generated content, right? Which is human anatomy is imperfect. Your face is not symmetrical. Sometimes your fingers are weird. Because of that, AI initially couldn't get fingers right, toes right, anything that is very close to human anatomy, AI would just not get it right, or it would make everything perfect when it comes to photography, nature, landscape. But nature or world around us is not perfect. So these are a couple of things that helps you identify an AI-generated content. When it comes to what is AI lacking today, I think like Jensen Huang says, the CEO of NVIDIA, most people don't realize that AI, while it can take away a lot of jobs, today at least it cannot take away 100% of anybody's job. So it can probably do your job by 50%. It can maybe do mine by 30, somebody else's by 70. But can it do yours, mine, and somebody else's by 100%? Not. Why is that? Because a lot of times AI is lacking human creativity angle. It is lacking the emotional quotient. It also lacks what a human feels when they are talking. So when it comes to a person talking a certain way, enunciating, probably the way they talk, sometimes your voice goes a little lower, sometimes you talk a bit slowly. Those are the things, especially in language or text to speech models, are missing, right? Which is also why when it comes to models like HeyGen or tools like HeyGen, a lot of people are trying to upload an audio rather than doing text to speech. Because if you were to do text to speech, like today Varun makes content or I make content where we're putting out digital twins of ourselves, doing text to speech via 11 Labs and then putting that audio on HeyGen is also a great way of doing it. However, a lot of times it makes your entire conversation very mild and calm. You will not see a graph that goes up and down when it comes to the tonality. So these are the couple of things that I would say AI is still lacking, but I don't think we're very far away from achieving that either.
Point which you mentioned about people being out of jobs, right? Finance with Sharan. A year back, there was an article by him on one of the newspapers saying that he laid off 15% of his employees. And the reason quoted was because of AI.
I'll tell you why layoffs are happening today. Either you'll have builders like us who are building these AI tools. You would also have, let's say, your Google, OpenAI, and different tool makers. The people that I see a lot are the ones believing that, hey, AI is never going to replace me. I think those are the people who generally laid off. The reason being, today, if you're not using AI to make yourself a bit more productive, you're not saving time, you are spending maybe 100 hours doing something that can be done in 10 hours, which is why I say that 100% of the job that you are doing today cannot be replaced. But if that 100% is completely done by you in that conversation or fight with AI that, hey, my job is completely creative, so it can't be taken away, I think that's when the problem comes. So when it comes to even content and marketing, we ourselves had made a lot of tools in-house. Does that mean we're laying off people? No. If the people are actually using these tools, they've become faster. Now they're going and doing much better things. It's almost like saying that you're being promoted to a different level because now you have your intern. The only difference is the intern is actually an AI.
Absolutely. And instead of, say, doing like 5 projects, now you're able to do 8 projects. Right?
Correct.
You would think that all these tools, like you mentioned, who are generating videos, but at the end, you still need that video editor to come and see, is this particular angle right? Is this lip sync happening? So these are like human elements which you can say, right? Or probably even a video editor to come and see that, okay, is there a gap between the fingers or no? Because I think we are not there yet. But when do you think we'll get there when 100% of the people will be replaced?
I hope it doesn't happen.
Okay.
Because as humans, we don't think we can sit idle. But a lot of things are getting replaced completely. However, in India, we've not adopted it, right? I'm sure outside of India, you have these robots which are cleaning your house. In Japan, you have your robots serving you coffee. So there are lots of things where nobody needs to use their mind or brain, but is a thing that can be copied by a machine, is already being replaced. However, I feel in India, in the Indian ecosystem at least, we have a lot of people making money out of these things. So I tell this to everybody that start using AI in your workflow every day so that tomorrow, even if there's a part that's being replaced, at least you can do something much better there. And you and I both were at 01. And I think something that was said by Nitin Kamath is that while everyone is focusing on using AI in their workflow, try and also think about areas which AI can never replace. For example, human relationships. Today, if you and I are talking and probably closing a deal or talking about something that's going to be helpful for us in the future, that is not something AI can take care of. Maybe do something that AI can never do, which is also a way to not get replaced.
And even there are other aspects, right? Like plumbing, like where you need, or even if you look at certain aspects of agriculture.
It's not like AI can't be used there. Today, AI is used also as mainly as a software, but AI can also be used as a hardware, which is what your larger companies are working at today. They're working on humanoid robots. That way you already have a human looking like us, but it's actually a machine. So tomorrow, can you not imagine this humanoid plucking something in the farm? You can. In the end, which is a process that can be understood and automated by teaching somebody that this is step 1, step 2, step 3. It's not difficult for a humanoid robot to not do it. And even if you want to not look at a humanoid, but just robotic arm, it's quite possible. So I would say in the larger industries, It starts with machine learning and probably predicting that what's the crop to probably, grow the next year, in the next month. That's the first step to take. Second, we will start moving towards already a machine coming, which is like driverless cars. Third is, instead of a human actually plucking something in the farm, you will get a humanoid robot or a robotic arm doing it. So I don't think we're very far away from that. I just hope that by then all of us as humans find something better to do in life, because I am definitely worried about where the world is going.
I mean, you're absolutely right. And I think the more adept we are to this technology, the more we can safeguard ourselves, right? And it's also true. Uh, Humans will not get replaced by AI in the short term, but they will get replaced by people who know to use AI better than them. One thing that's very much trending in 2025 is this whole concept of AI agents.
Yeah.
Every influencer I see start doing AI agents to make big money in 2025. One person is like, I made $100,000 using AI agents. And I mean, all these influencers, what are AI agents and why have they become the hype of 2025?
Yeah. What an agent can do is, if you can already describe process, the agent can automatically do this for you without any human intervention, which is it can already log in, go to Google, scrape data, find LinkedIn profiles, message them instead of you. By the way, this is an exact agent that we have made for ourselves in the company, where we look at, working with pre-IPO companies or pre-IPO marketing. So we made this agent, by the way, completely via no code, because this is a experiment that we were doing. I went into Claude, which is by Anthropic. What you can do there is you can create apps without any code. You can create agents without any code. So I just went and I said, hey, this is the process. I want to look at pre-IPO companies which are going to go IPO in the next one financial year. Find the companies, all the details related to them, create a dashboard where I would get all the leaders and their LinkedIn profiles. And the LinkedIn profile should be clickable. This agent is now made. It took me exactly 5 minutes to do this. And the dashboard has, by the way, all the companies divided into different sectors. So if I were to go into the food category, I would look at a Swiggy. If I would go to a electrical or a vehicle, automobile category, I would look at an Ola. And while it's divided in those categories, I can just click on a couple of links that are available and I can just DM them. And this was done in a span of 5 minutes.
The agent is the one who's DMing.
In this process, we DM, but you can also automate that part where you're getting the agent to kind of DM for you when the message is pre-decided.
Interesting.
So this is why I think a lot of people are talking about agents so much, because in the end, what would take you maybe an hour to do 5 times, the agent can parallelly do it in 5 minutes.
I run a marketing agency. Tell me 5 areas in my marketing agency where AI agents can be deployed.
Let's look at this. Who are the companies or clients that you sell to, right? So that's your first identification, which is how do you find leads? I just gave you the example, which is you create the dashboard where all your ICP, which is ideal candidate profiles, can be found via an agent. By the way, because this is real time, you can do this every day. You come to the agent and you say, who are the new companies? Can you also create an agent which says, hey, make me a dashboard which has all the funded startups from Shark Tank.
Beautiful.
The moment you do that, you already have all the startups which are funded. So have the money to then go ahead with marketing, budgets. So that's your first agent.
I love how deep you're going. You're going into pre-IPO funded startups. Go on. I love it. Go on.
So we have the first agent for you that you can deploy today. So my second idea for you is let's create a lead qualification bot. What this means is a lot of times you will get clients or potential clients to come and talk to you, but not everybody matches the criteria or matches your ICP.
Correct.
Can we create an agent which identifies bases couple of details, right? So let's say you've already gotten the name, email, phone number, and the brand name. What the agent can do for you is, basis the brand name and maybe the brief idea, it can go on Google search news, etc., and find a couple of details that matter to you. So let's say as a marketing agency, you would care about what their marketing budgets are.
Of course, yes.
You would care about their media presence.
Of course,
You would care about how big, small, medium, etc. they are. And plus, if they match your style, because a lot of people do old style marketing, new age PR, etc. So that's the thing that agent can do for you and categorize them into 3 areas. One can be Neet you definitely need to talk to this person as a founder. Second could be, hey, this is in the medium category. There's a possibility that they don't have a lot of media presence or budget, but creativity level or the brief is very interesting. And the third could be essentially somebody who doesn't match your ICP. So maybe that's where you can let go of them as a client. This process definitely helps you save your time, where you would be spending 30 minutes on a discovery call with someone who probably doesn't match your client persona.
Okay.
The third agent that I can probably look at is something like a thought starter. So let's say you've been in this industry for 3 years. You obviously have access to all the data, all the kind of podcast and ideas that you've presented to any client. Can you take all of that and create an agent to think like you do? That way, what's going to happen is it has three, or you can kind of give it three information. One is all your data from the past. Second is search APIs, so Google search, Bing search, etc. Third is news. Basis this, what will happen is today, let's say you're pitching to an Adani. One, the tonality is matched because your data has been fed. Second, Google search will search about Adani and give you a brand persona, a brief idea of what the brand is. Third is actually news. What that would mean is it will give you ideas which are topical in nature. Because if something happens today for that brand, maybe it acquires a different company, it's going through a rough time, it's probably going to, do a certain project in a certain port as Adani ports. These are the kind of things which will already help you think of a thought starter for the campaign, thought starter to pitch something to the client, and this saves a lot of time. So that's your third agent, which is a thought starter tool. Fourth is maybe think of it as a customer service bot. It helps a lot of companies which have a lot of queries coming in. You don't always get an agent or a human.
Not a lot of queries, but okay. So another thing we always have to do is we have to find the right guest for our clients and for my own podcast also, right? So in terms of outreach, so we are an end-to-end podcast production company doing all services of podcasting, finding the right guest, writing the scripts for them, doing the research for them, shooting, editing, posting. So all stages of the podcast production is what we take care. And now we are also entering into media production. We want to get big brand campaigns, right? We want to do large scale. We want to cover large scale events. We want to go there, but that journey is what 2025 is about to me. So maybe since podcast you've already covered, how about the second part, the media and production side of things? Can you help me from that side?
Let's look at this. I'll give you a very small example in the media space also, which is also something we have made. It's funny, but I realized that there's no tool that exists that helps you with English transcription. What that means is when somebody's speaking in multiple languages, and in this case, Hindi and English. Very small gap we identified, and we were initially taking about 15 minutes to do this manually for each shorts or short form content. Created a tool which is a small agent where the input is actually your MP3 and the output is an SRT file. For everyone who doesn't know what it is, it's just your subtitle file that can go into a video editor. Very small use case, but saved us 15 minutes for each shot. And as a media agency also on the other vertical, we produce so many videos each day that this saves us a lot of time. So when it comes to you specifically, because you're also working in the UAE area.
So Arabic English.
The Arabic English, or plus I'm sure Arabic has a lot of dialects when it comes to Dubai versus other parts of Saudi, right? So the fifth one that I can propose to you, the agent that you can think of is, can you look at content localization? What that means is, today, if you have to convert the exact English sentence into Arabic, Hindi, the literal translation might not work all the time, which is also why people have Hindi and English YouTube channel rather than having a English channel and then dubbing it, because what you're teaching today to India 1, you can't teach that to India 3 in the same literal translation. Or saying it's raining cats and dogs out there, converting or translating that literally into Arabic will not make sense. So this is an agent that you can make where you're translating something that a person is saying, but not literally, in culturally relevant language. That is by adding a layer of LLM there, where it first understands the context of the conversation rather than word to word, and then gives you an output which is a translated output, but more relevant to the audience that you're talking to or showing. So these are your 5 agents
Perfect.
that we literally just spoke about, and you can start making it by tomorrow.
Absolutely. I want to do that.
Yeah.
And so you're saying you can start making it by tomorrow. Are these easy to deploy? Because they sound complicated, right? If these things are deployed, I'm going to be making like 10-20 crores this year, inshallah. I hope so.
Yeah.
How quick can it be deployed?
So, today making an AI agent has become so easy, which is why product companies are losing on moats. Because today an idea which get converted into a product is not very difficult to replicate that on a technical level, because things are becoming more and more easier with tools like Cursor. If you already know, there's a new tool that just came out called Manus. It's actually a
Manus,
Chinese.
correct.
It's actually a Chinese tool, which is, by the way, built on 29 agents, apparently, according to different sources. One of it also being Claude, which is by Anthropic. So while you have this, essentially what it's doing is it's making a product or a tool in multiple different coding languages. So something will be in CSS, something will be in Python, something in Java, which is very difficult for a human to do, right? Because as a technical developer also, you work with a couple of languages and you stick to your tech stack. But Manus can work with different languages, which is why people are raving about it. And if, like it's promised, it releases the way and works the way that it is promising, I think it is even more easier for us to create products today. And then the moat of the product will not be the product itself, rather the way it's marketed, the kind of problem it's solving, how many people are you reaching out to, how many, basically what your distribution is, right? Which is what everyone is scared today. Which is also why ALTRD is not building one product. Rather, we're working with different companies and creating different products which are customized with their data, so that tomorrow, if somebody needs to replicate that, it's much more than replicating a product using a Cursor or a Manus, but working with a company's data.
Okay. Will this be running every day from its side?
Yeah,
Can
so
we train that way?
think about it this way. If you want to do this on a day-to-day basis, and because it's anyway extracting the data in real time, I would just add one more box there which says put the kind of candidates that you want to reach out to. So let's say today, if I'm typing Shark Tank funded companies, tomorrow I can type pre-IPO companies. The moment I type this, I'm clicking on search. That means it's scraping the data in real time and then getting it for you. So you can define your ideal candidate profile every time you come onto the dashboard. By the way, Claude also has an option to publish this as a link. This link can be accessed by anybody that you share the link with. That also means they don't need to log into Claude from your username and password.
Nice. What I just realized right now, thank you for sharing this. With so much that's happening in the world of AI right now, you could literally create an AI agent which is updating you on everything that's happening in AI, because every day you think of a new update that's coming out, right? And I think this would be very useful to the people who don't want to lose out on the jobs. Here's one question though, okay? These AI agents are competitors, right? Like ChatGPT OpenAI is a competitor to, say, something which Google would develop, okay? If I'm using something like Claude to give me updates on AI, would this AI actually talk about other AIs? You know where I'm coming
Yeah.
from? Would they recommend their competitors and speak good about their competitors? What have you seen so far?
AIs talk about other AIs because in the end, they're being trained on data that's being publicly available. They don't get into topics like politics, is something you'll notice. Even when you go to an LLM like GPT, it says that, hey, I can't talk about it, or I don't have enough information, especially when it comes to the Chinese, government information. So those kind of things are called guardrails, which OpenAI or other companies are setting, just like we set for our celebrity campaigns. So your basic information it gives you. When it comes to kind of differentiating, the AI will also differentiate for you. For example, a GPT is great for ideating, scripting. Claude is great for probably coding, creating agents for you.
Perplexity for getting the sources, right?
Perplexity is essentially what Google is, but with AI. So better search. Rather than giving you multiple links, it already gives you the top 5 things. So I think the best way to use AI is not to get overwhelmed by multiple AI tools. And the way to not get overwhelmed is to know what AI is trained on. For example, if today Midjourney is trained on all the images that are available on ArtStation, which is a platform where all the artists upload their work, you know that when you want to create images like that, you need to go to Midjourney. But ideogram is specifically trained on everything text. So when you want to create stickers, logos, maybe your podcasting banner, you would go to an ideogram. So I think something that all of us need to know is, rather than learning how to code this AI tool, if that's not what you want to do, you need to understand what are these AI tools trained on. That's when you will not get overwhelmed by all of this, and you will know exactly which tool to use when.
Perfect. Your business is amazing. I love what you're doing. You're an end-to-end AI based company. You create custom AI solutions for brands, right? And while I was going through your portfolio, a few things interested me a lot. Okay. You used images of Sourav Ganguly. You used a video of Sourav Ganguly. You used a video of other celebrities such as Saif Ali Khan, and you're making them do things for a brand. You're making them say names for a brand. You're making them do campaigns for a brand. Explain, Gayatri. What do you do exactly?
Okay, so Altered essentially falls in the AI as a service space. What we realized is lots of products will come, and we definitely want to get there someday. But when I came back to India 2 years ago, I realized that while everyone's talking about AI, nobody's actually been able to deploy it, because you have your GPTs, you have your DeepSeeks of the world, you have your Microsoft. But the idea is, who's going to deploy these technologies for you? That's how we started this company, from the perspective of AI as a service, where what we do is we talk to different brands, we audit them, we diagnose them, and we understand that, hey, these are the 4 places that you can use AI. But it shouldn't end there. Somebody should be able to deploy it for you with your data. So that's how essentially the idea of Altered started. Because also I'm surrounded by so many creators and media people, we also realized, what influencer marketing was 5 years ago when it was just starting out. Reels were the thing. I feel like today AI in marketing is that, where I think people are slowly getting a bit bored of your traditional ads being sold to directly. So that's when we came up with this idea that how about, you start doing this in the marketing space. Plus, that whole thing of Shah Rukh Khan in a Cadbury ad got so much traction that brands actually wanted to do this with a lot of other actors.
Got it.
Now, think about it this way. In Bengal, a Sourav Ganguly talking to somebody who's probably working in a kirana store, they go crazy.
Absolutely.
They will definitely have a much higher click rate. There are processes.
Okay.
The first thing you do is you shoot with the actor.
Okay.
Now, this is a 15-minute shoot, right? Because the AI needs to understand what is your digital persona like. How do you talk? How do you pronounce things? What language do you want to talk in? For example, in the Sourav Ganguly campaign, we got him to speak in Bengali. We had to also make sure that the accent of the names are Bengali. So instead of saying Sourav, it would be Saurabh. So those things had to be taken care of. So first is shooting, then is AI training. Now comes the fun part, which is what is he going to say? So you create a microsite. We've worked in two directions. One is a microsite, one is on WhatsApp. On microsite, again, you create a campaign. What is the idea?
Explain microsite. What do you mean? Is it like a website or?
So microsite is almost, so think of a website, but micro, which is you have like 1 or 2 pages. Essentially, the moment you get on a site, you're asked to fill up the details, which the actor is going to say.
Got it. So with Saif Ali Khan, I think you work with Behrouz Biryani, right? And Saif Ali Khan is known as the Nawab, and associating him with biryani, which I think is one of his favorite foods. I think it's the right influencer match. And what was the message of, for example, I have sent a message on WhatsApp saying that my name is Neet Bherwani. What would Saif Ali Khan say to me after I've sent that? What's that exact message?
So the first message is actually not sent by you. It's sent by a WhatsApp bot.
Okay.
You order a Behrouz biryani. You get a QR code with your package and a spoon, which was a part of the campaign. The moment you scan, it takes you directly to WhatsApp with a pre-decided message, which is sent from your WhatsApp to Saif Ali Khan.
Got it.
And that message says, Huzur, please send me my Diwali greeting. And then he goes like, please tell me your name. So that's when you send your name. And then right probably in 20 seconds or 10 seconds, you get a video of him saying, hey Neet, happy Diwali. And then he just goes on to wish wish Happy Diwali to you in Hindi. And after that, just to make it a bit more fun, we sent Diwali stickers where he was standing with a biryani like this.
Right.
And that was sent right after the video. We did this for both with Gulshan Grover. He has that persona of blackmailing people, right? Because of the movies that he's done. So we did this where a brother would be blackmailed to actually gift the sister both products. And how do you do this? The sister will put both the names and the secret that she would reveal to his parents if she would get the lifafa and not the both products.
Nice.
So what we got the sister to do is actually fill the names and the secret, and then the Gulshan Grover digital persona would come, and a video just comes out in less than 30 seconds, by the way. So you fill up the details, the video comes out then and there, and then you can directly shoot it on WhatsApp. There was one problem, however. We realized that the moment you get a video on a microsite or a website, to shoot it on WhatsApp, you would have one more step, which is click on the share on WhatsApp button. So we experimented the second time, which is we shot with Saif Ali Khan. And that was the campaign we did on WhatsApp, and much, much higher rate, because you were sending your name on WhatsApp, you were receiving the video on WhatsApp. So directly the forward button would work.
Absolutely. Let's dig a bit deeper in this right now. Different people in India have different names. Some of them have very short names, like yours truly, Neet. I just go by Neet. It's a very small, simple name. But names can also become long, like Sarbotam Chatterjee, like if you're looking at that, or even longer names. How do you train Saif Ali Khan to say any name, no matter how complex it is, and to get it right? Because if I'm the consumer and if you're reading out my name to me in a wrong way, that's a negative brand perception.
So I'll tell you, there are a couple of things that you have to take care of. Now think of it this way: AI is as good as it's trained on. All the information that you give AI, it will understand what to generate basis that. So what we do is, if we're shooting in a Bengali script, we make sure that we train it on all the words that Bengal is probably known for. This is a very good trick to also follow in any deepfake when you're creating your digital twin, even using agents. The trick here is, make sure that in your script itself, you're saying the kind of words which are most used words in either your script or in the topic that you're going to talk about in future. The moment you do that, AI knows that these are the words that Saif Ali Khan or any actor kind of pronounces this way. So it assumes and then generates that way. In terms of how many words to be said, we kind of keep it pre-decided. So if I know that only first names are to be said, I keep that much space when it comes to creating the template, right? Because in the end, you're probably changing 3 to 4 words or maybe 2 words. So when I know that here I have to change only one word, I make sure the gap between the first word and the third word is that, so that the second word can be pushed in. But the moment I put a very short gap and the word is very long, the AI is going to glitch. So there are certain things you have to pre-decide so that I make sure that your name is not being sabotaged while speaking by a celebrity.
Perfect. You have taken consent from these celebrities. Yes. How are these celebrities comfortable? Because earlier what happened, if you remember 2 years back when the whole AI wave started, right? Anil Kapoor came and said that you cannot use my voice. He filed a suit. Even other celebrities are even like, they don't like it when their names get replicated. So when you're approaching these actors, how comfortable are they to get themselves replicated in an AI verse? Like, what's the conversation like with them?
Think about it. Today, if somebody was to use your voice and you wouldn't get credit for something that you're known for, even you wouldn't like it. So honestly, no celebrity actually likes this. However, in our case, because you're doing it probably for 10 days, 15 days, and they're being sent on WhatsApp multiple times, the brand persona, the remembrance of that brand also increases.
Okay.
Which is why a lot of actors, if they want to be on the top of somebody's head, they're okay doing these campaigns for a couple of days. Would they be okay doing this throughout the year? Probably not.
Right.
When it comes to consent, we definitely have to take consent. We look at 3 things, right? First is privacy policy, which is actually made by us. We have to make sure that the second thing which is mentioned to the client, or in this case, the celebrity, is that what are the words which are going to be replaced? Because today, if I take Neets, which is your example, and I just make you say whatever, you wouldn't be okay with it.
Yeah.
So I have to make sure that I give them the script. I tell them exactly what it is used for, the campaign idea, the time that it is being used for, and the exact words what are going to be changed or repeated, etc. But the third thing, which is the most important part, that both the brands and the celebrities are going to be very scared of, which is today when you type your name, what stops you from typing something which is a crossword? Nothing does.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's where we come in, where we have to make sure that a lot of guardrails are put. So we do two things. One, while you're typing, the generate button doesn't get activated if you've written something which is either objectifying someone, using any crass words. Second, in case you've still managed to write it because of different spellings, because humans and especially Indians can work their way around. The moment you do that, in the back end, we make sure that it is not generating the video or sending an error message. And by the way, this guardrail is a very important thing that you need to put. Otherwise, you can today make anybody say anything that you want, because doing or making a deepfake is very easy. And this is, I think, the whole guardrail process, because we have to make sure that we do this for each and every brand, because nobody would want to be in a space where the brand persona is spoiled or maybe a celebrity is spoiled.
Makes sense. No, okay, now let's take it a level deeper. Now you have trained it in a particular language, right? You've trained it in the sense of Sourav Ganguly, you trained them on Bengali, right? But there are other languages which exist in other parts of the world, and curse words, some words which are there in Hindi are curse words in other languages. For example, Naika. If you come to the Middle East, it's not called Naika there, because Naika is a curse word. So when it launched in the Middle East, it's called Naisa. How do you ensure that other languages, what if someone brings in crass words from other languages? How do you detect that as well from your side?
There is something called a profanity layer API.
Okay.
That is something we use. What it does is it understands translations, literal meanings, projected meanings of certain words. Basis that, it automatically blocks it. Are we taking care of things in different countries? Probably not. Are we making sure that in the distribution area, be it Bengal, India, it's been taken care of? Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you'll also have checks in place, right? Like someone monitoring the outputs and everything that's coming in.
I think that's the beauty of doing a campaign, that you don't have to, you don't have to do this throughout the year. You do it probably for 2 weeks. The campaign goes on, you get a lot of impressions, and that's about it.
That's perfect. Okay. Since you mentioned so many tools, right? I want you to talk about the top 5 tools which people can use to make a lot of money in 2025.
I think as a founder, more than money, I would also talk about things which help me save time. So I will cover both. The first thing is everything that you want to document, I would go into Notion, which is the AI tool that I use to document everything. It also summarizes for me. It creates a lot of things. Second, if I'm a marketeer, rather than doing a simple photo shoot and writing something in a performance marketing ad, I would go into a tool like Midjourney and create something that ideally a 3D artist would take a long time to create. So think a Midjourney to create different images which can be used as creatives on your social media. If you are a marketer, you can do multiple of these and sell it to different companies. One great example of an Instagram user is called If Only AI. This artist is a French artist and he does beautiful artwork using just Midjourney. Third thing that I would do is I would probably create a lot of CGI videos which are going viral. Especially in Dubai, there is this tool called Open Magic that has been released. What it does is it has a lot of templates. The way CGI works is it's a physical video that has been taken, combines it with anything that's computer generated like text, images, and 3D, and puts it all together, renders it, and gives you a video which makes people question if it's real or not. And the first video that had come out was actually a Jacquemus bag which was rolling throughout Paris, and then it started happening in Dubai a lot, which I'm sure you've seen.
Something going through the Burj Khalifa,
yes,
or through the Dubai frame, or the Museum of the Future.
Yeah.
Showing elements and making it realistic.
Correct.
Okay.
So this makes you question, did this actually happen? Wow. Is there a banner being rolled down or going through the Dubai frame in real time? For that, I would use this tool called Open Magic AI, which is a new tool, but very, very interesting. All you have to do is upload the image, video, or a 3D object. It has a list of CGI videos already pre-templatized. By the way, a lot of videos are also Dubai-based. And the moment you upload it there, you get it in probably a minute. And I would use it for maybe, different brands. I would sell it to them with other services. I would give it to them for free if I want to just work with them.
I'm definitely adding this as a service to our existing services. But go on. Yes.
Yeah, so that's one. I would probably also use tools like Make AI and...
So number 4.
So number 4 is N8N or Make AI. These are no-code AI agent tools. So think node-based. What that means is you can automatically have different nodes and connect them via wires, where you would decide what the input would be, what the output would be, and you would have multiple, nodes being put. If you've used this automation tool called ManyChat, which allows people to reply to comments, automatically, where people say comment for link, it's very similar to ManyChat when it comes to the interface of it. So I would create a lot of agents using N8N or Make AI and sell it to people.
So this is where a person uploads a video on Instagram and they say that if you want the PDF of this, leave this comment. And the moment they leave a comment on their DM
Comment section.
on their DM, they get a message from the creator immediately, instantly.
Yeah.
It's something similar.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
So that is essentially used via ManyChat, but the process is same. So the reason why I give you that example is because you don't need to code. So if today, and I tell this to everybody, that if today you're worried about the fact that you don't know how to code, how is it that you're going to create agents? I think that time is gone. I gave you multiple examples of how do you create agents via Make AI, N8N, or even if you want to use code but don't want to code yourself, there's Cursor and Claude who do it for you. I think the fifth tool that I would use is probably Kling or even Pika Art. These are tools that help you create a lot of videos that essentially would take you time if you were to do CGI. Pika Art has this thing called Pika Additions. Pika Additions is what they're calling it, where essentially you can upload a video, you can upload an image, and it puts that image into that video with no CGI involved. So there was a very funny video that I tried where I took a picture of a dog and I took a video of my microwave where I was opening the microwave. I uploaded on Pika, and it gave me a video of the dog sitting in the microwave.
Oh, wow.
And the way people can use this to make money is let's say you own a clothing brand. You can take images of lots of models, people who look like your ideal model profile, and take the image of your jacket, t-shirt that you're selling, take the image of maybe Times Square, Dubai frame, etc. And these three are the ingredients that you can upload on Pika to get a video where all the three are combined. So now you have a model, a celebrity, yourself wearing a t-shirt of your brand in front of maybe a Burj Khalifa.
Beautiful. I'm so glad there are people like you who exist in this world solving problems like these for brands, right? Because all this information that you've shared in this podcast, all the AI tools that you've shared, yes, using one or two of these tools is easy, but then combining all of them, that's where the true skill comes. And if you are a company, if you are a founder, and if you found value through whatever Gayatri has mentioned, definitely reach out to her and her company. Leave a comment in the video letting us know which are the AI tools which you're already using, which are the new AI tools which you found out about and which you're going to use, and are you also going to be using AI to make a lot of money? Because I sure am. That's my plan for 2025. Inshallah, we can reach 10 crores. Not asking for a lot, 10 crores. Decent
Love
amount of money. 10 crore. पहुंच जाएंगे.
हो जाएगा वो तो. With all the tools like even Lovable and Bolt, I'm sure you can do it.
Inshallah, that's the goal. Because I have this goal. It's literally tattooed in me, right?
Amazing.
I have to make it happen. And thank you for sharing all your experiences.
Thank you so much.